Okay, so it is other people's responsibility to make you feel emotionally safe.
I say when there is not full disclosure of the plan of what's going to be done to me psychologically, then that is the responsibility of the person who's manipulating me.
It's really funny that you say that because this actually is just deterring responsibility to the second party, right? So you're saying...
Yes, you guys are more powerful than I am as far as damaging me psychologically, because we live in a society that has normalized the manipulation of women and their vulnerability emotionally. So I believe that you partook in that same essentially tactic of getting from me what you wanted.
Sorry, can someone translate, please?
So why would I give you my phone?
Man, that's fucking
Is there freaking cars behind
Get
you?
out of the car. I don't care what's being here. No, get out of the car.
What are you doing?
Get out of the car. Seriously.
No, Dad, you
Get out of the
cannot
car.
do that.
Get out of the car, please. Get out of the car,
Dad,
please.
you cannot do that.
Oh, yes. Close the door.
No, Mom. Dad, no, you cannot do
You
that.
can't tell me what I can and what I can't do. I'm going home with her right now. Seriously.
Dad, anything can happen to her.
It doesn't matter. That's her fault.
No.
She want to be tough? That's what it is.
Dad, she's telling you what's
I'm not going to sit and wait for her. She's not telling me. She's lying.
Dad, no. Dad, she's a woman. She's a girl.
What? What do I have to do with it? Girl or guy, it doesn't matter. You gotta be...
with her. Dad, anything could bad happen.
We're going home. Let her figure it out. Let her figure it away.
And we was your wife. You would do that with us?
You guys are not my wife.
Dad, imagine if that was me grown up. Would you kick me out the car?
Yeah. Dad, you have to get her right now.
Scarlett, hey, sit back. Sit back, please. Sit back,
I'm
please.
gonna open the door and get out myself, and you're not gonna
London.
leave me.
I will get your phone, call the cops on you, and you will go to jail for that.
London, what are you doing?
The programming always starts early. Brace yourselves. Alright guys, it's time to talk about single moms, possibly the worst category of modern females in our generation. And at this point, that might even be a bit of an understatement. From acting as the heart of generational conditioning, to being among the most expensive, to delivering the most social damage, according to any available stat, these chicks constantly land at the top of the list. And yet we still hear socio-political messaging from the Western media that they're an absolute gift to the universe. Well, until recently. See, modern single moms have pretty much given away all of their get-out-of-jail-free cards. Even traditional women are starting to look the other way as songs and memes pop up everywhere about how getting pregnant isn't a flex if it's the product of irresponsibility. Moreover, it looks like even the most extreme ends of the spectrum can't ignore the flood of evidence supporting the fact that the only group capable of turning this around is men. But as always, they're flying blind, like with this story. Single father households do vastly better than single mother. Here's the real reason why. The author is a woman, Alicia Jane. Let's see if she manages to stay objective. Probably not. It's extraordinarily well documented how much of a disadvantage children from single mother households have over children whose parents remain together, but less well documented is how much of a disadvantage they have over single father households.
So far, so good.
For example, studies have found that children that from single mother households are 5 times more likely to commit, end themselves, than children from both unbroken households and single father households, 9 times more likely to drop out of high school, 10 times more likely to abuse chemical substances, 14 times more likely to commit rape, 20 times more likely to end up in prison, and 32 times more likely to run away from home.
Here we go.
The list does not stop there. Single mother households also account for 70% of all teen pregnancies, 70% of all child ending, and they account for the majority of filicide cases, which means, yes, a child living with a single mother household is the most likely to be ended by their parent.
Holy shit.
Most at this point will probably think that the stepfather is the main culprit, and reason. However, studies have found this to be false and that step-parents are no more likely to end children than their biological counterparts. This means inevitably that single mothers are on average the biggest harm for children. Some studies even show that mothers are the biggest enders of children overall, though it should be noted that others show it to be fathers, while others show that men and women are equally as likely to do this. Ah, Alicia, You were so close. You dunked on single moms wonderfully, direct hit after hit, and then you had to go and spoil it by referencing stats that you were too ashamed to even put up on the board. And why? Because deep down in your Diet Coke riddled gut, you know that the anti-masculine narrative isn't true. But you're so hardwired to give women a pass, even with all of these horrific deeds on record, that you couldn't help but throw in some vague information to save your hide. Remember, Miss Jane, these are the people you can't help but defend.
I did not sleep with nobody else. All these boys in his little friend group that he has, I've known a lot of them a very long time.
She told me she was in a relationship already.
I was in a relationship. I have just got out of a relationship. I was not with nobody when I was with him.
But were there any benefits with the other friends?
No. First of all, when he walked in the door, the day he came over, me and his friend was talking. We was catching up too. I was not sitting on his lap or nothing. When he came, we all went in the basement because the boys was playing the games, and we were talking. We was catching up. I went and told my friend, I'm like, because she didn't know I know him. Nobody in the house knew I knew him before he walked in that house.
How'd you find out you were pregnant?
I went to the doctor to get my birth control shot because I know I'm having, so I'm like, I need to go because I don't want to have no more kids.
Any more?
I have twins.
18 years old with 3 children?
Deep down inside, I don't think it's my child at all.
This is the first time he's saying this. Let me tell you something. When me and him talk, this is his baby, okay? This is really baby. He says my baby. He does not say the baby. He says my baby.
Mr. Stone, you are not the father.
Told you I can't lie about nothing. I know what I did. I paid for extra.
It's cool.
Not cool. Child.
It is cool. You proved it you wanted to. You proved that I'm such that you think I am. You proved it.
It's not that. I wanted to know for a
proved it.
fact.
No,
I wanted to know for a fact is that my child or not.
You proved it. You
Like
proved
I
I'm
told
such
you,
no. I don't know who my baby
grow up
daddy.
without a
You
father,
proved it.
period.
You proved your point. You're good.
Do you know who Christian's biological father is, since it is not Mr. Stone?
Yeah, but he doesn't want nothing to do with me or Nugget. So.
That's it. No, free.
Come on, baby. Come on. Come on, y'all. Come on. Okay. 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 Munchie, watch your sisters and brothers, okay? Okay. Here. Call your daddy.
Ah, yes. She must be so strong and independent. That has to be it. Why else would she drop her children off in the middle of the night to hang out with Chad? Alicia, hesitant women, remember that idolizing single motherhood is idolizing the behavior that comes along with it. As I've said before, these are not the war widows of yesteryear. They definitely believe they're warriors, but their general is TikTok and their holy scripture is Instagram. This isn't one of those videos I make where the comments are shared, but the general reaction to this is a venomous and justified request to send this woman to prison. Well, I hate to tell you folks, but depending on what part of the world you're in, most of these women will get a slap on the wrist as long as they don't appear to be clinically insane. We all know that if a single father had sole custody, virtually all of this disparity would be gone overnight. Even Alicia here struggles with the mainstream narrative. It's popular to say that because single mothers are more likely to be in poverty, it must be economic differences that explain the data. However, studies have found that economics does not explain it. It's the same story even if the single mother is not in poverty.
Now we're getting somewhere.
It seems poverty largely explains the typical cognitive attainment deficit for children from single mothers, but it doesn't explain the differences in emotional outcomes, nor all the other issues. I was actually surprised by this, and so went to my kids' school. They are at a rather expensive private school, and I asked the teachers, and they told me that more often than not, the children that cause the most problems and have the most problems tend to come from single mother households.
We have a winner!
My partner works at a university, and he tells me the same story. When it comes to the students, the ones he normally has the most trouble with, and the ones most likely to drop out and skip lectures, come from, you guessed it, single mother households. However, even though single father households are rarer, he has not ever noticed the same problem from such households. Further issues with the economic link can be found by looking specifically at the UK. The UK has been lauded for its success in reducing single mother poverty, and yet that reduction has not coincided with an improvement in outcomes for the children, nor has greater acceptance of single mother households.
Your stats are very respectable.
20% of single fathers don't have high school diplomas versus only 15% of single mothers, and single mothers are now more likely to be university educated and by a decent amount. Well, Alicia Jane, you fumbled the ball, but it looks like for the moment you picked it back up again. One of the major issues feminists have brought to the forefront of conversation, which has been a century-long issue for them, is that women needed a head start in the realm of education. The belief was that single mothers and the women supporting them would all be litigators, doctors, and astronauts if it weren't for the demonic patriarchy standing in their way. But, funny enough, when the protected class got all the options men have and more, none of that happened. They either flooded into occupations already saturated by other women, or they picked up a major as useless as a damp napkin on the city sidewalk. And before women start blaming men for this issue, saying that it's probably the men they've been magically coerced into bedding, let's clear the air.
Why are people so addicted to fuckboys? And so there's this really interesting research from the psychologist B.F. Skinner, and it's a study with pigeons. So for the first pigeon, the pigeon is in a little cage with a lever. Every time that the pigeon presses the lever, food comes out. And so that's pigeon number 1. Then there's pigeon number 2. They're also in a cage with a lever. In the beginning, every time that they press the lever, food comes out. Okay, so now they're the same. But then the first pigeon, it stays the same. They press the lever, food comes out. And this is called the continuous reward schedule. The second pigeon, over time, the schedule changes. Sometimes when they press the lever, food comes out. Sometimes when they press it, it doesn't come out. Maybe it might take them 5 or 20 times of pressing it for the food to come out. And that's called the partial reward schedule. So with the first pigeon, once they turn off the food, the pigeon will press it a few more times, see there's no more food, and stop pressing it. The second pigeon, once they turn off the food, it will literally keep pressing the lever until it collapses from fatigue. And that's because the partial reward schedule is so addictive. That's also how slot machines work. That's how gambling works. Sometimes I get what I want and sometimes I don't, so I want to keep trying and I want to keep trying. And that's what's happening with fuckboys. So fuckboys give you attention in the beginning, right? You get what you want, they seem interested in you, you go out. Then they start pulling back. They're hot and cold. Sometimes they're interested, sometimes they're not. And you become addicted to that partial reward schedule. Well, this time when I press the lever, will you text me back or not? And it feels really exciting. And so securely attached partners are the levers in the first one, where their interest in you and their love in you is continuous. And that's what we should go after, because that's what a healthy relationship is. But people get so addicted to the fuckboys and to the partial reward schedule that they're trapped in this cycle. And so our brains, they really develop in this way where when we don't know if we'll get what we want or not, it's really exciting. But that's not what's aligned with long-term relationship success.
Bad results.
Bad results.
Got
What? Why you lost?
What you mean while I'm at your house?
Why you here?
I'm here to get Junior.
No, you're not seeing him.
What you mean? He right, I see my son right there.
Okay.
Hey, Junior. Junior, come here.
No.
What you mean, no?
Damn.
Huh, Junior?
No, you don't.
Come with
You trying
daddy.
to fight me, boy? Bye.
Come with daddy, Junior.
Watch
Come here.
out. No.
What you mean, no?
No.
Why?
Go sit down.
What's your issue, though?
You about to cry?
My son.
No, watch
Junior,
out.
he trying to come with me. Look at him. Look at him.
No.
Who you want to come with? Well, come on.
No. Wow. Go worry about
What's
your
the issue?
girlfriend.
What's the issue?
Go worry about your new set of kids that you have.
Just because I got 2 bonus kids, they ain't mine, but
Right,
they
bonus.
mine.
Pre-owned.
They mine because I love my fiance. Excuse me. So anything that come with her, I gotta.
You love her when you're in front of her.
So what you mean by that?
You love her when you're in front of her.
What you trying to say?
You didn't have one 2 days ago?
Look, man, you worry about the wrong. I'm just trying to get my son.
Right.
Junior, come on.
No. Stay.
So I can't.
sit down.
So you telling me? See, look, he having a fit. Let me get my son.
Go
Move.
sit down.
Watch
No,
out.
watch out. Move.
Listen, man.
Go worry about your bonus kids.
And here we have it. What makes that first set of decisions so important? Single moms, you can go ahead and hate the player. In some cases, trying to hide the kid, But the fact is, you are the one that puts the money on the table in the first place. You endorsed a system that gave you complete control over every little decision, and the result, which all of us could have predicted, is that you're utterly incapable of making the right one. And that's what it all comes down to. Women, mothers or not, have virtually no spatial or situational awareness, and objectively speaking, they never had to. It's not a shock that this has led to so many children growing up in the absence of solid leadership to go on and do problematic things because women aren't designed to provide direction. Men are. And that's what Alicia here is beginning to understand. At least partially. It's about to get confusing. It always does. When it comes to who would be the better custodian in the case of a breakup, on average, the mother will more often be the smarter option. She just will. Sorry guys, but by nowhere near as wide a margin as people think.
So close.
That means there should be a lot more, and I mean a lot more single-father households, but there isn't. And this is because, for right or wrong, the mother typically is favored by judges to be the primary carer in a split. This is one of the leading reasons why so many fathers end up going missing. The judge has given the mother primary care, and this leads the father to eventually just slowly disappear for one reason or another.
There's only one reason. And one reason alone.
Many argue that the fathers are at fault, but considering that the vast majority of fathers report wanting to be more involved with their children's lives, the true story is inevitably more complex and more due to the fact that unless joint custody is given and properly enforced by the courts, it is simply more difficult for the secondary carer to remain an active part of the child's life, even on a financial level. To put it more bluntly, due to the system we have created, when a single father becomes a single father, it is normally either because the mother has abandoned him and their children, is completely unfit to be the mother and so the court has awarded full custody to the father, or it is because the mother has passed away.
That's idiotic!
That means what this data actually shows is not who makes the better single parent, but the price of inequality. That is, because the courts practice inequality against fathers by always favoring the mother, children pay the price.
You're an idiot.
The reason the data shows that children raised in a single mother households are so disadvantaged on average is that women get custody even when they are resoundingly not the best option. Until we change that, we will continue to have a single mother problem. To put it more bluntly, when the father is the best option, we need the courts to identify this and award custody accordingly. And until we start doing that, endless children are going to pay a price they should not be paying. Okay, there are so many contradictions in this assessment that it's hard to pick the worst ones. I mean, Alicia, you were so close. All of the information that favored sole custody for single fathers was right there on the wall. And you couldn't help but allow the little worm of progressivism to burrow into your mind in the final stretch. What you should have said, what the data showed, is that virtually all cases where children end up functional is a direct result of the mother's absence. Yes, you noted that the court system is completely rigged. Bravo. Everyone with 2 functioning brain cells knows that. But it also doesn't take a genius to deduce that if most of the children from single mothers are underperforming, that's suddenly not going to change if men got equal custody. It might help, but the fact is the toxicity that messes up these kids up is still in the picture.
This is why real high-value men will go after single moms. Don't fight me on this, because I'm a living proof. Not in my own life, but somebody that I know. A high-value man knows his value and his worth and what he brings to a woman. There's going to be no child that is going to interfere with that. High-value men want children, and real men are going to love children as their own, even if it's not their own. So you having a child is now an addition to their entire family that either they were seeking, that they wanted, or they were looking to create in the future. Now you have a child, and that's part of my family, and we're all a family. That's what a real high-value man is.
So a quote-unquote high-value man with all the options in the world is going to trade that lifestyle in to take on you and yourliabilities. Sound like a load of cap to me.
$472. Okay, are you gonna be paying today? How are you paying? Guys be wearing the hottest shoes. Thank you. $200 and $300 worth of shoes and don't even want to pay for the stuff I had to pay for, yeah, because I've been dating this guy for about maybe 2 to 3 days. Look at him. He can spend $200 to $300 on some Nikes, but he want to help me pay for my baby stuff, so. Because God don't like ugly. You couldn't pay for my baby stuff at his school, and he only 1 year old.
Again, Alicia, so close, and yet again, so damn far. What the author, and many women who try to get to the bottom of the issue, lack is the broader perspective. They carry the assumption into their research that these women are chaste and pure before they become moms, and then suddenly something comes up that makes them unfit to lead. The glaring issue with this line of thinking is that none of these women should be near their children. The course they've taken to separate, in itself, shows that they're morally bankrupt and arguably parasitic in nature. There's no way these values will raise a child up to be a functioning member of society.
If my boyfriend asks me to marry him, I'm going to say no. Why am I going to say no? Because we started dating 5 years ago, and then a month after we started dating, his friend started dating his girlfriend. And they had a kid after 2 years of being together. We had our daughter after 4 years of being together. His friend pays all the bills in their home. We pay 50-50. His friend got engaged last year, and we haven't gotten engaged. His friend got married this past weekend.
What Alicia and the rest of the women fail to understand. Sometimes they make it halfway, but I have yet to witness a woman in the West who greets the whole truth with open arms the way a man does. Single fathers are the heroes. Men are the heroes, because they do what has to be done, no matter how hard the struggle might be. Women can cry about that all they want, but at the end of the day, masculinity welcomes the balancing act, something these authors can't even deny. It's who we are, and what we will always be. As always, I wish you tremendous success. Now it's your turn. What do you think? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Remember that if you leave the best comment, you'll get $5. Thank you so much for watching. If you found value in this video, hit the like and subscribe buttons, ring the notification bell so you don't miss out on future uploads, drop a comment, and share it. See you in the next video. Till next time.